Back in the fall of 2023, I picked up this 1959 Ford Thunderbird. When getting it home, I realized the rear passenger side brake drum was locked up. So after beating the drums for about 45 to 50 minutes, I freed it up, moved it into place, getting me to the point of checking out the engine. With my cheap Chinesium endoscope, I managed to check 4 out of the 8 cylinders before tossing that POS in the trash. Cylinders didn't look half bad, but the engine was still locked up. So spraying the cylinders with the cheapest lubricant I could find and turning the crankshaft bolt back and forth, I managed to free up the stuck engine, which got us to the point of not being able to find spark. So testing out the coil's primary and secondary windings, everything looked great. Then I ended up changing out the points and voila. Yes, we got spark. Yes. So once the engine was turning and sparking, we just added a little bit of fuel and wouldn't you know it, we woke up the beast after over 33 years. Now the only thing that's left is to get it moving, stopping, and doing a burnout. So stay tuned and see if we can do just that on a Patriots Touch.
Definitely a runner.
What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. As promised, we're back on the Ford Thunderbird. Plans for today are to get it moving, driving, stopping, and to do a burnout. So stick around and enjoy the show. First, I gotta figure out how to get out of the weeds. Let's go pluck this little bastard. Should be a neutral. Should be. Let's see. All right, let's see what we can do. I guess the hooks came off. That'll do. So yeah, some of the fundamentals of getting this car moving are going to be fixing these transmission lines, getting him to stop spewing all over the place, basically. Also, I like to replace this dried, cracked up starter wire before it causes a fire. I put this clip in there to show you how stupid I look at 3x speed. But on a serious note, I'm going to remove and rebuild this master cylinder, because we got to get this thing stopping just as good as we got to get it moving. I don't have much space around here, and we don't need no accidents. But up first, I think I'm going to remove, dismantle, clean, and rebuild the carburetor. If you are interested in seeing that, those are 2 other separate videos. They'll be linked in the description down below. Just for a heads up, it was pretty nasty.
Oof, that is nasty in there. Oof. Stinky too.
Once I get this puppy moving and stopping, I'm gonna pop her in the garage and change the oil and filter. There we go. One carburetor coming up. So basically this should be what I need to get this thing running and doing a big Smokey Burnout.
Holy shit.
We have here obviously the carburetor that I rebuilt during the winter. This is the base plate for the carburetor that cracked when I took it off last year. I basically repaired it with some JB Weld. There's the crack, but you're going to have the gaskets sealing it up, so there shouldn't be an issue. I got an oil filter, but I need to get some oil. So I'll probably pick that up sometime this week on the way home from work. I got an air filter. I got some coolant that's concentrate, so I got to mix that 50-50. Before I do that, though, I'm going to make sure that there's no holes in the block, because that would be a bad thing. I got some fuel filters for the fuel line. I got some front brake shoes. And if you look at the dirt that's on the box, those look like they were sitting on the shelf for probably about 30-some years. I got some brake hardware to go with the shoes. Also, there is a distribution block in the car, but the distribution block I'm going to leave there for the next guy. I'm not going to be running back brakes as of right now. So I got a 1 into 2 instead of a 1 into 3 that's out there. I got some new brake hoses and brake lines because of obvious reasons. And I was going to rebuild the master cylinder. I don't know if you could see it in there, but there's craters, like basically the moon. After honing it out and then seeing those craters, I decided, let's be safe than sorry and just get a whole new master cylinder, because for $50, I'd rather spend the $50 than the obvious. Hold on! Not only that, but I also damaged the lid trying to take it off. And to find a lid, I think a lid is $30. So, I mean, $30 plus the rebuild kit, it's $50 right there anyway. So I might as well get a brand new one, so this way we alleviate some of our worries of stopping. I'm only going to be running front brakes anyway. 1 is because I'm too lazy to run back brakes, and 2, who needs back brakes when you want to do Smokey Burnouts? You know what I'm saying? So now that I got the carburetor up here and the base plate and everything, I'm going to start by putting the carburetor on. Then we'll get to the brakes. And then I come out here and look who's waiting for me. I swear they're like pets. Let's see if I can write you off on my taxes. Here you go, buddy. And I gotta get back to work, dear. Talk to you later. Have a nice day. All right, bud, I think you're a little late to the party. So yeah, there's the carburetor, nice and clean and new. Sitting on top of that dirty engine, looks like a diamond in a goat's ass. So anyway, I'm going to get the boy out here to help me take the hood off so I can gain some access to the front of the engine. Alright, so in order to get this thing running for longer periods of time, I have to work on getting it to hold coolant and stop spewing transmission fluid like a geyser. I see the hose on the bottom over there, so I'm just basically going to reconnect the hose to the bottom of the radiator. And if I cannot find the hose for the top of the radiator, I have a few hoses in my stash that I can probably make work. Engine 3/4. This little door never gets old. Anybody living in here? If so, we're going to have to hand you the eviction notice. See if there's anything in here that I can use. This car came with a lot of parts. A lot. Well, I don't see any hoses, so let's check my stash. These hoses are really small compared to what I need. Damn it! Damn it! The neighbors are over there staring at me, wondering why I'm talking to myself. One last shot before I have to order something. There's a couple extra boxes that came with the car. Let's see if there's anything in there. Oh, I see a hose. I see a hose. Never been this excited for hose before.
So the audience are a bunch of hoes.
Yeah.
Well, I found something. I just don't know if it's gonna be any good. I don't know if it's gonna fit. It's hard as a rock too.
That's what she said.
But I mean, for the time being, it is what it is. If you know what I'm saying. Well, I guess that wasn't fixed correctly. Let's get these brakes dismantled. "45 minutes of beating later." What's going on, folks? We're back. Basically, it's been over a year since I worked on this vehicle. I love drum brakes so much that it took over a year to complete the job. I literally lost 55 pounds before completing a drum brake job. Perfect. But we're back. When we left off a year ago, I was trying to get the brake cylinder off, but I came across an 1.25 inch nut that I couldn't loosen. I didn't have the right tools. I bought the socket. Let's get back to work. So with that 1.25 inch deep socket, I got quickly to work, moving the retaining nut. All that time just for that nut. Looks like they broke the old brake cylinder. Well, there goes that core. Trying to find brake hardware for this vehicle was a nightmare. Some of the springs that I could not find, I had to clean up on the wire wheel, along with the brake cylinder studs and adjuster. I also like to take the wire wheel of death and clean up the backing plate. I'm going to connect the brake cylinder to said backing plate. It's always a good idea to hit the contact points with anti-seize. You don't have to go crazy. A little goes a long way. I also like to throw a little bit of anti-seize on those studs and the brake adjuster. And yes, even though you didn't see it, I did put it on the threads of the brake adjuster. I would hate to get roasted in the comments over that. Always keep in mind when installing drum brakes, when it comes to the shoes, it's like class picture day. Tall ones in the back. And no, my short ass was never back there. Once you get the shoes into position, you push these two mounting studs through. I like to pop on this top spring to help hold everything together. And you just pop on your retaining springs and caps. And you pop off this weird looking washer. Pop them. Pop them. Pop it on the rebound springs. I'm gonna have these drums professionally turned down. I like to pack the bearing as best as I possibly could. Give these old bearings a fighting chance. It's a lot better than the shit that they sell today, that's for sure. Always throw the rest in the cap. Put the castle nut on and tighten up the castle nut. I like to snug it up and then just back off a little bit, just until the drum frees up. And then finally put your cotter pin in and bend her back. And then about 40 of you all can comment in the comments about how wrong I just did that. And that's it. That's what it entails to change your front brake drums on a 1959 Ford Thunderbird. Let's catch up the other side, shall we? And with some TV magic, we'll catch up the other side. Damn, that's just beautiful. While catching up the other side, I happened to notice that I forgot to install these 2 round clips. After getting done with the job, I realized that they were on the bench. Uh-oh. I also noticed the springs, I put them in the wrong hole. I took these brakes apart over a year ago, guys. Give me a break, okay? No pun intended. If you did catch it and you always started writing the comments, you might as well just finish up the comment and click send, okay? No one's perfect here, folks, and we're all in this together, and that is the best part. So with that, I added those little washers to the retaining springs and relocated those cute purple springs. Probably explain why it was so hard to put them on in the first place.
'Cause I stuck it in the wrong hole.
Duh. The shoes to the drums. Connecting the brake switch and bench plating the master cylinder. Let's juice this puppy up, shall we? So, in order to juice this puppy up, the car has a 1-into-3 block basically that goes from the master cylinder to the driver's wheel, then to the passenger wheel, and then to the rear of the car. Well, I'm replacing that with a 1-into-2 block. Okay, it's basically a Y or a T. T or a Y. Who'd have thunk it? I'm going to be doing a double flare. In order to do that, you have to grab your brake line, and you're going to have to cut it down to the length that you need it to be. This is that copper nickel brake line. It bends very easily. Well, first you got to take your tubing cutter and you got to cut it to length. Once you cut it to length, make sure your edges are deburred, okay? Then you take your tube nut, you place your tube nut over the edge. Don't forget that because that's very important. Actually, in this case, it's not because it's through and through. But once at the end of the day, it's important. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You gotta make sure that you have a tube flaring kit. This one here is from Amazon. The link to my affiliate store, where this will be linked in the description down below. Basically, you're gonna start by opening up the case.
No shit.
You wanna take out the clamp. I like to put it in the vise. Gives me a couple extra hands. Then you're gonna wanna take your tube, put it in the 3/16 spot, clamp her down. You're gonna wanna make sure that the tube sticks out just as much as the shoulder of the thimble. You don't want it to stick out any more than that. Once you got where it belongs, you snug her down. All right, once she's snugged, you take your thimble and you put it in through the hole. Then you take your press, slide it into the area, and snug it up. All you're gonna do now is you're gonna tighten this until it stops, flaring the tubing. Then you back off on it, take your thimble out. Once you get your thimble off, then you basically wanna go over it with the press again. This is the part of your double flare. You're gonna wanna go over flare it again and trumpet it out. And there you have your double flare. As you put your tube nut on, it should fit nice and snugly. Back at the car, connected everything together. So obviously we connected the new master cylinder. I ran all new lines. There's that T and Y that we were talking about earlier. The bottom goes to the drive side. This one goes to the passenger side, and this is the feed. Looking at everything, everything is nice and dry. Okay, we got the brakes. We got both sides juiced up, and I got this side gravity bleeding. Make sure you keep an eye on the fluid level, and you always top it off when you're doing any kind of bleeding. Otherwise, you're going to introduce more air to the system. I ran the brake line up and around the cross member, securing it with a couple of zip ties for the time being. We're not looking at perfection. We want to get this thing running. This is the passenger side. Everything's nice and tucked and neat. There's a new hard line going to the brake hose. Okay, we are gravity bleeding. Probably going to get the boy out here to help me with the bleeding process. When I tell you to, I'm going to have you push down all the way to the floor, okay? Basically, what I'm going to have you do is I'm going to have you pump it. I'm going to tell you to pump it, pump it, pump it, and then I'm going to tell you to, all right, put your foot at the top of the pedal, and then you're not going to push down on it. And then when I tell you to, I want you to push right to the floor, okay? And when you push to the floor, you got to hold it. Don't let go, because if you do, it could bring in more air, okay? Hey, Dom, did you lose weight by any chance?
Yeah, we boys down 40 pounds.
40 pounds? That's like the weight of a small human. All right, let's do this. You ready?
Yep.
Pump it, pump it, pump it. Foot on top, foot to the floor. Looks like we're getting all fluid. Let's go to the driver's side. Foot to the floor. All right, foot on top, foot to the floor. Damn, that thing is shooting like a fountain. It might be still air in it. We have to bleed the other side still. All right, go ahead. Step on the brake. Yeah, it's not doing shit on this side. All right, pump them. Foot to the floor. We got some more air on this side. Okay, do it again. Hold it on top. Foot to the floor. Yeah, it ain't doing shit. It ain't doing shit. So I'm trying to bleed this side, and this side won't work. I got as much air out as I could, so I opened up the drum, and I happened to see it's wet on the inside. Brand new wheel cylinder is leaking. So yeah. So now while he pushes on the brake, this hose right here is whispering sweet nothings in my ear.
Hey, who was that? Go ahead, do it again, do it again.
I'm not sure if that has something to do with something missing. It looks like something was here and these were both connected to it. So I got to look and see what was here and if it's in with the parts, because this could be the reason why the brake isn't working. As far as I was concerned, this is manual brakes. There should be a brake booster over here, and I got to see what's missing. So let's do that. But in the meantime, I'm going to button up the transmission lines and coolant hoses. What's going on? It's a new day. I did do some research on this brake booster situation. This car does have power brakes. It's Ford's 1959 version of power brakes. It's not your normal power brakes where you would think you see a brake booster. There's like a bellow looking thing. It's connected to the brake pedal underneath the dashboard. And this hose basically connects to vacuum. I use one of today's sponsors, the letter Y, to connect it to. So I used the Y to connect it to. I don't know if somebody cut the hose or what the situation was there. So now all we have left to do is juice this thing up with some coolant, refuel it up. Probably got to clean the points because it's been a little while. But before I do all that, I want to clean up this engine compartment just a hair. There's going to be a cleanup video. This isn't the video. We're just basically trying to get all the combustible materials out from the engine from when this engine heats up. Oh, shit. Oh. And now for the moment of truth. Something I've been worried about basically the entire time I own this vehicle. See what the freeze-out plugs look like. Hopefully the freeze plugs aren't rotted out. We'll find out. What, that's not how you burp it? We put well over a gallon of water in this thing so far, so I don't see any water running out the engine, so that's a good sign. I'm gonna connect the fuel cell and let's start this puppy up. Okay, so we filled up the coolant system with water. We're full to the top. It's probably gonna overflow once it heats up, but there's an overflow hose, so we're okay with that. I installed the NHRA approved fuel cell. At least I cut down the zip ties. I also wired in a kill switch to the coil. So this way, if there's any kind of emergencies, I can kill the vehicle while I sit in the car. Currently, this car is not operating with a key. There's no key. I have a key, but it doesn't operate. So I guess the wire's been chewed, and I'm not sure. All I know is it doesn't work. So for a secondary measure, I did that. Also, I rolled the window down. I made sure that the door locks work. So this way I can egress if I need to in a short period of time. I hooked up the battery. I'm going to connect the fuel. Basically, we're ready to start. Oh shit. Well, I guess our needle and seat isn't working. Yeah, I'm gonna have to figure that out. Let's let that cool down a minute. Why is it a tad warm? While that cools down, I'm going to check the points, make sure the points aren't corroded. It has been a while. A lot of people don't know this, but Craftsman screwdrivers, they have these little ribs on the tip. All you got to do is use those ribs to clean off the corroded points. Little tip of the day. Cap looks good. Rotor looks good. Looks like the lower hose has developed a leak. Let's try this shit again, shall we? Sometimes it helps to connect the coil wire to the battery. Who'd have thunk it? The battery sounds like it's a little weak. Let's charge the battery up, see if that helps anything. Here it goes. I opened up the idle mixture screws, just half a turn each. Coil wire, dumbass.
Dumbass.
We got a runner, folks. So, I guess when I rebuilt this carburetor, I didn't put the floats in correctly. There's a little spring-loaded clip on each one of the floats that has to snap onto the seat that I must have forgot to snap on when I rebuilt this carburetor. That was the reason why we had the fountain of fuel. Give me a break, guys. No one's perfect. And don't forget, we're learning this shit together. But without further ado, let's get this thing running. Start it right up. Beautiful. Who'da thunk it? Definitely need ATF. Not bad. You can still use a half a quart, but we're okay for right now. It's not spewing any, so we're good to go. I'm gonna try to move this thing. We still don't have brakes. All right, so it definitely moves under its own power, but it doesn't stop yet. We're still having brake issues. I'm not going to be putting this thing and moving this thing around here. I'm just going to back it up a little bit so I can get my other vehicles out for the time being. I got to figure out this brake situation. I think, yeah, I'm excited, man. I am excited. I wanted to pull this thing in the garage to change the oil in the starter wire, but since I don't have brakes, I'm going to do it right here on the ground. I wanted to bring it in the garage to do this, but I want to keep on moving ahead so this way we can get this thing running and get this video out. It's starting to drag on, even though I've been working on it as hard as I have, it's starting to drag on. So let's get this oil changed, huh? Oof, smells like fuel. Wonder why it smells like fuel. Looks like back in the 90s they didn't know their own strength. So for optimum oil filtering, we're going to go in with a Wix filter, 51515. And with the oil, we're going to go with the most expensive oil they have on the market, Valvoline VR1. Actually, it's the cheapest, and it was also free delivery from Walmart.com. Even though it's not the most expensive oil, it still has zinc in it. That's what these old engines with the flat tappet cams need. And if you do put oil in your engine that doesn't have zinc, Make sure you get a zinc additive. Otherwise you're gonna wipe out your cam. There you go, drink up, little buddy. We need you to do a burnout. Brake cylinder came in. I want to move this closer to the garage so I can work on it. It stops, but it doesn't stop that great. But hopefully we're going to fix that. This thing still needs work. Look at this heap. Say what you want, but after 35 years, she moved. She kind of stopped too. I'm going to get to this brake cylinder, replace the brake cylinder, and bleed the system once again, and we'll take it from there. We'll see, hopefully at that point, we'll be able to drive this thing. Brakes are fixed. I'm tired of waiting. I'm sure you are as well. Let's take this puppy for a spin, shall we? Power windows. Only on one side though. I don't know. Hot coil. A little bit of choke. Let's do this. It's still a little choppy. Still a little choppy, but it's gonna take a little bit of work to get this thing actually roadworthy. But we're driving after over 33 years. That's awesome. The generator light's still on. but I think it's because of the body ground. I don't think it's grounded correctly. Nothing works inside the cab, so that's what the situation is with that. Also, this thing seems to be backfiring still a little bit. I think when the boy gets up, I'm going to have him help me take the hood off, and I'm going to have him help me time this. I'm going to try to advance the timing a little bit. Yeah, that noise is the speedometer cable whining like a mother.
Like a mother.
Like a mother.
Like a mother.
So yeah, let's get this puppy home.
Want to hear the most annoying sound in the world?
Let's get this puppy home so we can do a burnout. It's hard to keep this puppy. It's hard to keep this puppy planted, man, with these front brakes sucking like the way they do. Oh yeah, Poppy. Let's make some smoke. Smoke show. All right, let me get this bitch back inside before security comes. I can't even see. Oh shit. Oh yeah. A little bit smoky, playa. Ah! I love this. I'm so excited. Won't be excited when I get a ticket. This car is a hot rod, literally. Jesus. Another successful ride. Smoke's still coming out of it. Coming out of the car, coming out of the inside, and coming out of the trunk. I love it. That's awesome.
3 hours later.
You gotta choke her a little bit.
I think that was it. I advanced it in timing a little bit.
I want to get a back shot of it revving. Because you don't have that.
We got back.
Shit. Holy shit. tire did spin a little bit.
It's 10 minutes later and it still smells like rubber out here.
There's still smoke coming off of the ground.
So there you have it. After 33 years of sitting, the car is literally running and driving and doing a Smokey Burnout. But that's not it for this vehicle. Stay tuned for the next video. We're going to be cleaning it up, getting it a little bit more shiny, making it look a little more complete, and most likely doing another burnout. Hit me up in the comments down below. Let me know how I'm doing. Even though it took me a while to make this video, I'm still literally putting my heart and soul into these videos. If there's something that I'm not doing correctly, or if there's something that I need to work on, hit me up, let me know. I'd like to thank you all for watching. If you made it this far in the video, I 100% appreciate it. I appreciate all your support. If you did enjoy the video, I'd appreciate a like and possibly subscribe. And keep an eye out for more content because summer has just begun and there's more projects in view. I'm on Instagram at a.patriotstouch. I'm also on Facebook and TikTok at A Patriot's Touch. Thanks a lot for watching, and we'll see you next time on A Patriot's Touch. Have a nice day. I almost forgot to shut the passenger side window. There you go. Come on, man. You gotta break my balls for. Get out of my face, you f***s. In order to get it running and driving, I have to get it semi-stopping. Doesn't have to be stopping like on a dime, but if it stopped on $1, I'd be happy. If you know what I'm saying. These fucking bugs, bro. Fucking bugs, bro. You get around my face. Like, this is bullshit. There is bumblebees living in this car, bro. I get stung, I'm kicking some bumblebee ass. That is for show. I almost forgot to shut the passenger side window. What the f?